Hello, so today we're looking at the overseas domestic worker route. The overseas domestic worker route is for domestic workers who have an ongoing employment with their overseas worker, either a British citizen who usually lives overseas, or a British citizen whose family usually lives overseas, or someone who is visiting the UK and has this domestic worker who works for them. The overseas domestic worker route usually covers things like a chauffeur, a nanny, a chef, a domestic worker, and a carer for the family. For families, we talk about the household. The worker must be living in the same household as a British citizen or the family member of the British citizen or the visitor who is visiting the UK. This can include the spouse or the family members of the British national. You don't really have to be a British national to sponsor someone on the overseas private household domestic worker. But the requirements are that the applicant must be at least 19 years. 2, the applicant must have worked for the employer for at least 12 months. 3, the applicant must live in the household of the overseas employer. And 4, that their intention is not to live beyond 6 months in the UK. The advantage of this is that the employee can continue to work in the UK for the employer for up to a period of 6 months. There is a maintenance and accommodation requirement, so the employer must show that they will be able to accommodate and maintain the person whilst they remain in the UK with them or with their family member. In addition, they should be traveling together with the domestic worker, or their family members should be traveling together with the domestic worker. The final thing that I want to cover is that the terms of employment in the UK must comply with the UK employment and salary laws. So the minimum income requirement, it's key. You cannot pay the domestic worker below the minimum income, which obviously must comply with the legislation in the UK. So to recap, you can bring someone here to work for you as a driver or a chauffeur, a nanny or a childminder, a cleaner, a domestic worker, or a carer. It's for people who usually spend long periods of time outside the UK, and the workers have been employed with them for a considerable number of years. In addition to everything that I've mentioned, they also need to meet what we call the suitability requirement, which is their character and do not have any criminal convictions. I hope this is helpful to you. If you like it, please follow us or like our videos. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook, or call BWF Solicitors if you need further advice. Thank you.